What's going on? Jason Phillips here, owner and founder of the Nutritional Coaching Institute. And today we are answering the question, can eating too little damage your metabolism? Now, before I jump in and I give you the answer, do me a quick favor, click that like button below, make sure you're subscribed, and of course, click the link in the description so we can send you your free copy of the Nutrition Coach's cheat sheet. Basically, all the information I've used in the industry the last 16 years to create the results I'm known for, and also to help other coaches grow and scale their impact and of course, their income. The question again, can eating too little damage your metabolism? And let me give you a little background and then I'll go ahead and give you the answer. So first of all, we understand the goal of any dietary program where fat loss is the goal, we have to be in a calorie deficit. All right, we know this, it is non-disputable. I know there's the zealots out there that want to say sugar is the enemy. Sorry, you're wrong. Like literature, it continues to support the fact that calories are king. There are two types of calorie deficits, and I've first heard this terminology, relative and absolute calorie deficits, from a man by the name of Scott Abel. Shout out to him, he's one of my earliest influences, and I believe it was his book, The Abel Approach, that talked about this in detail, but he mentioned a relative deficit being about 500 to 750 calories per day, or an absolute deficit being 1,000 calories or more per day. And we know less is more in the dietary world. We want to oftentimes diet a little longer, a little bit slower to preserve lean tissue, to preserve that metabolism. So we're always gonna opt to try to be in a 500 to 750 deficit. But there are instances where I would argue absolute deficits are okay. We just have to understand the implications of them. Obviously, if you are trying to rapidly lose weight, sometimes going into a 1,000 calorie deficit is fine, assuming that you have the appropriate dietary breaks, assuming that you're returning to maintenance periodically to keep that metabolism moving forward. So the question is, can being in an excessive deficit or dieting for too long ultimately damage your metabolism? Well, let's look at that. So if we understand that your body, right here, I've basically drawn a graph with dead center, right? Your body always wants to maintain this dead center, and that's what represents homeostasis. That's a homeostatic balance, and that is where your body desires to be. Remember, we were put on this earth for three things: to survive, to thrive, and to procreate. We weren't designed to have six-pack abs. We weren't designed to win the CrossFit games, and several of us were not put on this earth to be like, 200 years old or to biohack our way to ultra longevity. Everything we do, meaning every dietary attempt, every training session that we do, it's a navigation away from this true center, away from this set point, away from this homeostatic balance. And so every time we undertake a deficit, we're moving away from it. Well, what does your body begin doing? When you start this deficit, your body says, whoa, 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 pump the brakes. It thinks that this deficit or whatever stressor that you're imposing is forever. It doesn't understand that it's temporary. Your body thinks whatever you're doing now is what you're gonna be doing forever. And so it starts creating adaptations to remain or to get back to set point. Well, if we think about it from a dietary perspective, what are those adaptations? Well, it increases the hunger response. Why? So that you eat more. It decreases your affinity for meat. Why? So that you move less. It actually starts to downregulate metabolic hormones. Why? So that you burn fat slower, because your body wants that fat to insulate its organs so that you can continue surviving and thriving, okay? So the further that we navigate away from set point, the more and more adaptations your body throws on. Now we throw in duration. The further we navigate away from set point, and the longer we stay inside of those adaptations, your body almost creates that state of being permanently adapted. And this is why you're hearing some people, perhaps even you watching this video, saying, I'm only eating 1,200 calories and I'm not losing weight. That's because your body has created an adaptation to a new set point, effectively a new homeostatic balance where your body's like, this is what I'm going to get. I still have to protect my overall physiology. I have to protect my ability to survive, thrive, and procreate. So this is what I'm doing. I'm shutting down hormonal levels. I'm shutting down metabolic rate. I'm reducing my affinity for output. I'm reducing my ability to handle stress. By the way, this is where injuries and things come in as well. Ultimately, it is an adaptation. So can we look at that as a damaged metabolism? I'm not sure that's the right term, but there is some sort of metabolic alteration going on, but it can be fixed, okay? So if we understand what's actually happened, if we've navigated this far from set point, and ultimately we've created a new set point here, we now have to do the things to return to our original set point. How do we do that? Well, this is where things like reverse dieting come in. This is like things where controlling your stress inputs comes in. This is where things where restoring hormonal function are going to come in. And when you're getting your hormones back up, when you're reducing your stress, when you're eating adequate levels, your body will realize that the return to homeostasis is happening. Your metabolism can go back to normal, whatever that term actually means, and you can live in a state where you can handle a normal amount of calories. You can expect to lose fat on 1,200 calories or a lot more, and ultimately you can finally see the results that you desire. So again, when the question is asked, can excessive calorie deficits create metabolic damage? I think that the wording is off, but I think that the theory or the thought process behind it is correct. And the answer is absolutely yes. It can absolutely create a metabolic alteration, but you can and should and will, if you do the right things, recover from this scenario. If this helped you, of course, look below, give us that thumbs up. Make sure you click the link in the description, get your copy of the Nutrition Coach's Cheat Sheet, all the things I've done to help people recover from scenarios just like this for the last 16 years. And of course, to help all of the people inside of our army of impact do one thing, and that is choose impact over everything.